We are live. Hey, dear Christine.
Hello.
We are live. Welcome to the third House of Trust live stream. Today, with a dear friend and a human that I deeply appreciate. Uh, Definition to the outside world impact investor, speaker, advocate for resilience and living. Welcome, dear Christine.
Thank you for having me, Stefan.
Today, we go deep, as always, at House of Trust events. And yeah, thank you
I'm
so much,
afraid.
Christine.
I'm afraid of that. Yes.
So thank you so much for being here. Christine, for the people who don't know you, Christine, you have meant to be on the Titan submersible. Instead, you gave her seat to your son, who had spent weeks building a detailed Titanic Lego model and was deeply passionate about the mission. Your husband and your son went. They never came back. What followed was just not a loss, but an unimaginable confrontation with uncertainty, hope, and reality. For 96 hours, you, Christine, remained at sea, waiting, searching, hoping. But this is not a story about tragedy alone, because I know who you are today. I know what you're doing today. And it's about what has to come after. It's about turning grief into purpose. And that's so beautiful. And I salute you for that. Christine, today you work with individuals and communities, navigating grief, helping them move from survival to meaning. You are an impact driven investor, focusing on founders building with purpose, resilience, and long term vision. First of all, thank you so much for being one of our newest mentors and advisors and investors involved in Yasi Trust. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for believing in me and Yasi Trust. And I deeply appreciate and love the relationship we have. So, with a round of applause, dear Christine, welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to dive directly into the conversation. And so you were meant to be on the Titan. Your son took your place. What does this decision mean to you today?
It's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
But there's it's a decision every parent has to make sometimes, right? In the sense, a child should be have a child should have a relationship with both his or her parents, and I think that's really important to get also those one-on-one times with each parent, and also each parent with each child, no matter how many you have, because I think it's really important to have those one-on-one relationships. And Suleiman loved spending time with his father, and he loved um, doing things without the girls, as he said it, and that that was it basically. That's why I stepped back, because I wanted to have the father and the son an experience together.
Something that I don't know if I asked you this between us, but something I would like to ask again because I don't remind the answer is, Christine, do you sometimes battle with God about what happened?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yes. Do you sometimes battle with God or do you fight with God and say, why?
Why am I not surprised that this question is coming from you? Um, uh, no, no. Um, I don't understand why it happened, and there is anger, there is disbelief, there is I don't know, deep, deep sadness and grief. But no, I'm not battling.
Thank you. And beautiful to hear. During the 96 hours at sea, what was going through your mind, Christine?
Lots of things, but I think that the main part was that I separated. I separated my emotions from my mind, from what needed to be done. I couldn't afford to fall apart. I mean, you've been to the desert, right? Where there's nothing around you. And so we were in the water desert, basically. There's nothing there. So I was stuck on that ship. Even if I would have wanted to run away, I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere. So I, I couldn't afford to fall apart. So I had to park my feelings to one side. So all I wanted, or all what my mind consumed, was finding them. I just wanted to find them and bring them back up.
Where does your strength come from, Christine?
I think resilience and strength in general. I think it's what is it, nurture versus nature. I had two very strong parents, but they were very, very loving, and also very, very nature, like a huge bond with nature. And I think I learned from a very, very young age that, you were in Switzerland, I grew up in Bavaria in the mountains. So, you learn from a very, very early age that if weather comes in, if certain things come in, you you don't have any control over anything. You all you can do is adjust and take shelter. Like if you are in a snowstorm in the mountains, no matter how much you wish it not being there, but you have to adapt. And I think that is something I learned through my parents, but also through my environment, that you have to adapt, and you have to, and there will be many situations where you do not have any control over.
Was there a specific moment, Christine, that changed how you see life permanently?
You mean after the tragedy?
Yes.
Um, no, not really. I had, I think the relationships, the people who helped me through that dark time, um, I had those relationships before, because I prefer like small groups and one-on-one conversations. And so if
Same,
if I
same.
connect, yes, if I connect with a person, then I connect deeply, and also well, permanently, or loyally, let's put it this way. So I think those relationships, they were already built, so I could call on those relationships when I was down, because it was just a natural next step. There was no, I didn't need to ask. They were just there, because that's just the next step in that relationship. So therefore, I don't think that I had a moment where I had to change myself, because the people were just there. I mean, there are many external factors, obviously, like I'm alone in the house. I wake up every day without my partner next to me, and I pass Suleiman's room every day, and it will never be filled again, right? So there are external things that will not change, but there are other relationships that have helped me through that.
And I mean, we are here today to inspire, we are here to empower, we are here to help other humans who are
Mm.
going through situations like this. And so, what would be your advice for somebody who's going through a loss? What should they do, or what should they stop doing?
Um, well, it's very individual, and it depends on the relationship and the person you lost, right? And or what you lost. So loss is not just people. I mean, you can also experience a deep grief when you lose your job, when you lose a house, when other things, right? So loss is not just about people. So it's situational, but I think for me, what I really learned, was setting boundaries, and
Mm,
expressing those, as in, like, when people kept on calling and say, we want to come over to condole, that I said, no, I'm not in the
don't
space to
feel.
see you
Yeah.
today. And even though when people would like be affronted or upset, then I had to learn that I have to put myself first. And I think because grief and loss is for the people left behind. And I think that is so important to understand that grief is for the people left behind and not for the people who are dead, because they are already gone. But you are here. So you have to put yourself first in order to get through that. And I think that's really important. So boundaries was my main learning point to put on, saying no or something, also even saying yes to something, Uh,
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, I was contemplating recently with a dear person about the word death and be gone, right? I mean, imagine we would not call it death and we would call it transition, depending on our faith and what we believe in, right? So, yeah, but I think we would open a whole different conversation if we would enter that.
actually, about that, right? So the other day I went to the, like here in Surrey, there is the oldest yew forest in Europe. So the yew trees are about 6, 7, maybe sometimes 800 years old, like really, really big, not like the redwoods, but like really big and thick yew trees. And yew trees in the sort of the Celtic belief is the tree of transition. Now
Mm,
they are calling it the tree of death, but it's actually the tree of transition, because
mm,
you're transitioning from one world to the other, and so basically
mm,
those trees help you with the transitioning. So it is
mm,
quite interesting that in many different cultures you have, same with the butterfly. I mean, you have the
mm,
butterfly is between worlds, right? Like in many
mm,
cultures, the butterfly is said to be able to fly between both worlds and give messages, right? So you have that in
mm,
many cultures, and I think we all still have like some, residual kind of spirits on that in everywhere actually.
If I may open up, I mean, the whole journey of Yes We Trust started with a loss of a mentoring coach who was like a father figure. Oh, and it teared me apart for months and months. And then I was like, I am creator of my reality. I decide about my emotions. So I started to believe with every cell of my body that this person, your son, your husband, all our loved ones are not gone. They are in a better place where we don't have to pay bills, work, no pain, no suffering. It must be this feeling of overwhelming love and peace and ecstasy to be one with God. And when I think and tune in this feeling, then I have a deep feeling of gratitude for your
Mm.
husband and your son, and for my mentor and all the people that you love that went ahead. And I am also confident, and that's my next question about: do you feel today still their presence? And
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I do. Yes. Like in English, in England, there's a saying like, if a robin is near, an angel is near, right? So if
Mm,
so every time I see a robin, right? Not that I think that it's every time that Suleiman is in that robin, but it stirs like
mm,
this. Okay, now I'll think of
mm,
him. So it kind of gives me the, that kind of
mm,
nudge. Like it's time to sit down and just remember a little bit, and I think that's very important. Well, even new science, or like if you believe in science, they are like
mm,
getting more and more uh, possible that the theory of multiple universes is real. So if you believe in that, then maybe there are many other universes where they are still alive. So
mm. True. And my next question is related to this topic. It's, what do you think about the saying that death is a reminder to live life to the fullest, to go beyond our wildest dreams today and not wait? Because the only thing that exists is now. And we don't know, touch wood, if we are alive tomorrow, right?
Um, my father used to say, believe in God but still lock your door. It's and I think it's a little bit like that. So live your life the fullest but still prepare for the future. um
Yes.
so so I think it has to be a balance. Like if you live too much in the past, then you will suffer with depression. If you live too much in the
Yeah.
future, you will suffer of anxiety. But if you're also too much
Mm,
in the present, right, then you are not you're not living to your full potential. So it has to be a balance,
mm,
especially if you have a next generation coming. I mean, you have also a responsibility on how you leave this place, um,
mm.
the planet, your immediate environment. Like, I think we all have a bit of a responsibility to leave the place a little bit better than we found it. Um, I'm losing a little bit of hope right now if I look in the world right now. But let's
That's why we
see.
are here.
Yes, let's
That's
see.
why we are needed. That's why we are important.
Yeah.
Hey, Christine, uh, something that I just realized months and months after we met was I Googled your name and I saw the media landscape of what was going on with the news and stuff. And I don't know, I just feel it's such a lack of empathy to terrorize and bombard somebody who just had such a moment to go through. And then yeah, if this would not be enough, then the UK media landscape goes behind you. Can you share a bit more about this experience, how you felt, how you went through?
So the whole media frenzy added not just one layer, but so many layers of complexity to the whole situation.
Mhm,
So let's say they would have died in a car accident. So the
mhm,
outcome would have been the same, right? So they would have been gone. But
mhm,
um, I wouldn't have needed to deal with this incredible amount of scrutiny, of
mhm,
judgment, of I don't know, at some point, like the first month, I wasn't even able to even start my grieving process because there was so much to be done, just media related. Because there
mhm,
was like one fire after the other, one accusation after the other, one,
mhm,
I don't know, and like some of the comments were really, really nasty. But on the whole, I have to say, um, the majority of people are
mhm,
very kind, very kind. I
mhm,
mean, even some of the journalists, I mean, especially now with the book coming out, in order to get a little bit of publicity, I've met with quite a few journalists, and every single one was really kind, was really empathetic, and well, all of them have lost somebody. So it's and then they tell you also that story, right? So then they also start sharing their pain, and then I think that is where the conversation then also starts, because you it's not just like sitting down and getting down to business, but they are also sharing a part of them. It's not just then they are asking about me, and then I think that is a huge shift, because when it just happened, I did have zero control over the narrative, like zero. And all I heard is like, why did you do that? And why on earth did you do that? And I'm like, I didn't have any words, right? Because I had no control over the narrative. But you know,
mhm,
now I'm taking it back. I'm taking my narrative back. I'm taking my
mhm,
voice back, and
mhm.
that is, yeah, quite
I,
liberating.
I love that. Now, talking about your book, what is the title?
96 hours,
Hmm,
because they had 96 hours of oxygen.
hmm. Um, what are the what are the if you would summarize the book in one sentence, what's the essence? What's the book about?
The love story of Shazada and me. It's my tribute.
What would you like people to gain, learn out of this book?
The feedback I got so far is that people are surprised that I'm not pointing fingers, that I'm not
It's true.
blaming anyone, and
Mhm.
that I refuse to become bitter. And I
Mhm.
think that is what I wanted, because whoever is responsible died with them, first of all. And hating him or not hating him, it's not going to bring them back. And by hating him, I would hurt myself, because it would consume me, because
Yes,
hate and anger and
yes,
can be all consuming, and I don't
yes,
want that. I don't want that. I
yes,
do not want to be that bitter old lady where children run, around the garden and are scared of talking to her. I don't want to be that woman. I I I want children to laugh with me when I'm
Mhm.
old. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. And I mean, forgiving is also something that we do for ourselves, right? That and if I may quote the Bible, we are called out to forgive 7 times, 77 times a day. So it's 490 times. So we are called out to forgive all the time, all the time, all the time, again and again, again and again. And it's one of the most difficult things to do. It's so easy to speak out, but to really truly feel it in your heart to forgive, that's it's a big step.
But it shouldn't be, you shouldn't take it for wrong that forgiveness doesn't mean that um, you are giving up yourself. So true forgiveness is very different to just giving in. And that's what I'm saying. It is very, very crucial that you put down your own boundaries and say, this is my self-worth, this is what I am worth, and this is what I need in order to function. And
Mm,
if you cross that,
mm,
that's not okay. And
mm,
you might be wanting to forgive that person, but at some point you have to put it down and say, do not do that again. I will forgive you,
100%.
but if you do
Healthy
it
boundaries.
again, I will walk away. And I think that is very, very important, that forgiving should never, never be mistaken for lying down.
I fully agree. I fully agree. Healthy boundaries. Christine, for people who had a profound loss, what would you say? What is your advice to rebuild oneself?
It's very simple, actually, but it's the most difficult thing. Find a new purpose. Find something that will get you back out of bed again. Like you said, you founded Yes of Trust, that gets you out of bed. Um, you have support from your wonderful wife, and anything, even if it is to walk the dog. So for the first half a year, I would even say, um,
Mhm.
the only reason why I got up was because the dog needed to be walked.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it sounds silly, right? But like,
No.
no, I that was the only
Mm,
reason. So that was my purpose at that point. I needed to keep
mm,
that dog alive because he's dependent on me. So
mm,
I needed to make sure that he gets food, that he gets water, and that
mm,
he's walked. So for the first half a year, that's what got me out of bed. And then slowly you build it up, and now I found that new purpose was building up a healing center for trauma and loss. So that is now my motivation to get out of bed, because now I'm excited again, because I am building something to help other people. And but it can be but it can be really something so simple
yes.
than just having to look after an animal.
Mhm.
It's not simple because I think animals are beautiful, but
Mhm.
you have to find something that gets you out of bed every day.
Mhm.
And and then there are still days where I just can't. I mean, there sometimes I just cannot get out of bed. And but then you have to consciously decide, okay, today is, I call them the hedgehog days. Um, because I curl up like a hedgehog and I'm very prickly. So nobody can come near me, right? So everybody who comes, they get poked. So that's why I call it the hedgehog days. And I'm like, don't talk to me, don't approach me. I will come. I will roll back out when I'm ready, and then I will talk to you. But but then you have to do it consciously and also communicate to others because it's unfair, I think. Um, like the people around me, I will then say today's hedgehog day, and then everybody knows, okay, no, today we can't call her, and I think that's okay.
Whenever time, whatever time it is, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., for whatever time, I always want to be there if you want to speak with somebody. Not, I'm not saying this in, and yeah. Also, if you choke me in this moment, happy to be choking.
No, I
um,
know, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for
talking
that.
about talking about purpose, what would you
Yes.
say? What drives you now with the book, with the healing center? Please share more about that, with the driver now that was created. And something I would like to say is the most beautiful humans I've met in my life went through a lot of pain and suffering in dark moments, and they
Mhm.
were able to transform it into light,
Mm.
into something meaningful for others. So super excited to see what you're creating now, Christine, and please share more about it.
Well, like on one of my darkest periods, um, like even my body was shut down, right? I mean, it's so grief, trauma, or any like many mental health conditions that are often come from trauma. Um, they are not just mental; they can also become very physical. And so I had a time where I couldn't even walk properly without vertigo. My vertigo was so bad that I couldn't even walk straight. My vision was bad, palpitations, panic attacks. I couldn't even go out of the house. Even like with the dog, I just would do the minimum. I mean, I was grateful that I would even go out like 10 minutes. But so at that point, I knew I need help, professional help. And I looked all through the UK, and I couldn't find what I needed. So I had to go to Germany to go into a psychosomatic clinic. You as a Swiss, you know that it's a lot more common in Germany and Switzerland to have those psychosomatic clinics where you can go and stay for 1, 2, 3 months and get help. So I had to go to Germany to get help because I couldn't find it in the UK. And so now my motto was always like in Pakistan, I couldn't, when I lived in Pakistan, right, I couldn't get brown bread. So I could have now cribbed and cried about that I didn't get the bread I'm used to. So what did I
Mhm.
do? I found somebody who planted rye flour. I
Mhm.
found it and I made my own bread. So now I'm doing the same. I'm
Mhm.
I'm making my own bread. I'm making my own healing center where people can go and heal.
Love
Uh,
it.
yeah.
I love it. That's all about. If you see something in the world that you have a pain point and you don't see a solution for it, and then you build it, and then many other humans can profit out of it.
Yeah,
Maybe with
so you have
bread.
a choice, right? If something is not available for you, so either you can accept that it's not there, or you
Mhm.
can complain about it, or you can do something about it to get it. So
Yes.
I don't know if there's another option. I don't know, wish it to come, but I don't know. So and I believe that I might be in the position to get it done. And I have been now given the voice to do it as well. And now the network as well with you and many other wonderful people, that I think it can become reality to help people.
Yes, everything what we allow ourselves to imagine can become reality. I deeply believe in the power of our creative mind and the law of attraction. And as you said, uh, most of the things happen through collaboration, and that's all about bringing the right people in, and then ideas become and turn into reality.
Hmm.
Christine, let's shift a bit into this investor's lens because you are supporting many amazing initiatives, organizations, startups. My first question that I want to ask you is, what makes a founder investable for you?
The energy, like it has to have the right energy.
Mhm,
It's I know it's a very female answer, but that's what it is. It
mhm,
doesn't have to be a particular idea. It doesn't even have to be a particular genre or like field of, but if the energy of the person presenting matches with the product they want to um, support with, then that has to match.
okay. So it's not just the energy that you feel from human to human, it's the energy that the human uh, uh, sends out connected with the project that he's doing. It has to be aligned.
It has to be feel authentic, right? I mean, if um, and it has to yeah, it has to feel authentic. So
Mhm,
if maybe if an able person would really would always would have a product for disabled people, I would question what is the motivation, right? So initially I might not buy in because I'm like, why is an able person giving me anything for disabled people? Shouldn't it
yeah.
be somebody with it should be a disabled person giving me that pitch. But if
Mhm,
that person, for example, has
mhm,
family members or has gone through something or even came out of something because of that invention, then it feels true, something like that. So if it's technology or even like um, so if also somebody presents me with a green product, as
mhm,
in like an eco-friendly product, but is
mhm,
there with like very shiny shoes and a super
mhm,
fitting suit, then it might also not quite fit.
mhm.
So there has to be nothing against a man in a good suit, by the way, but it's like it has to come authentic, and that energy has to match. Like when they talk about their product, I want their eyes to light up. I want their enthusiasm be there. Like I want them to be there 150% for that product or for that adventure they want to do.
I love it. Does profit play any role in the investments that you do?
Oh, I know it should, right? But ah, yeah. So my wealth managers, they do tell me that, sometimes or most of the time I bring stuff that they say like, you know that you're not going to see any money for it, and I'm like, well, will I have a deficit? And they said no, but I'm like, okay, then it's fine, like as long as I don't lose money, I'm fine. So yes, it does matter, like we also have bills to pay, um but for me yeah, it's not necessarily my driver. I have
Because
other investments to make sure that I can pay my bills, let's put it this way.
yeah, why I'm asking this question is because we always see this challenge, this problem between purpose and profit, and
Hmm.
that we have investors who purely invest out of profit reasons
Hmm.
and don't focus on impact and purpose, and that often purpose, impact driven projects are connected with charity and not that it generates profit. And that's such a shame. I would love to live in a world where impactful projects are at least same or more profitable than traditional businesses. But somehow we still have this label of impactful projects are not profitable. Let's instead of that invest in oil and traditional businesses.
I will have a very strong opinion on that, by the way, and you know this. So there are studies out there said 70% of women will give back, and only 17% of men do.
Wow. Can you please repeat this again?
So, okay, when there is a situation where you have a wealth and there's an enough level, right? There's an enough line where you say, okay, I want, like, I don't know, 5 holidays and God knows 20 Rolls Royce, and I mean, I'm over exaggerating here, and my yacht and my jet and whatever. But and at some point you reach a point where you say, this is enough. This supports my lifestyle, and anything above I don't need. Like, I live, my children are paid for, their trust funds are like
Yes.
settled, everything is settled. There is a particular number, and it's different for every person, right? So 70% of women will take that money that above and invest it straight back into good deeds.
Society.
And
Yeah.
only so 70, like, we are talking about 3/4 of women. Every 3 and 4 women will invest back in society with that
Yeah.
extra money, and
Yeah.
it's only 17%, 17, for men.
I just
So I
see
do have an opinion about that, right? So gender does matter.
I just see a question here in the chat. I would like to take it in. Thank you for sharing, Christine. Do you believe the shareholder model is business is correct? That business exists only to profit shareholders? Is this naive to do good too?
So I'm talking about private individuals, right? So I think a business does need to be profitable, because a lot of people who work for a business are dependent on the salary, and therefore you should make sure that the business is profitable.
Yeah.
What you then do once, it depends on the amount, and again, is I always say, like, even a business has a kind of an enough line, right? So, but in generally, a business should be profitable, because a business has responsibility to people, families. Like, every person you employ has a family, or, like, the majority has a family, and therefore you're not just responsible for the person you employ, you are responsible for their dependents.
Yeah. What is a red flag for you when it comes to investing?
Inauthenticity.
What matters beyond growth?
What is there? What else is there? As in, like, financial growth or personal growth?
That's the question. I would say first financial growth and then personal growth.
So I think, was it Warren Buffett who said it? So human beings will be the first species who will destroy themselves just because it was profitable, or something like that. So I don't know the exact quote, but something like that. So I wonder, and then also looking at the world, at the state of the world right now, if profit and financial growth is the only threshold we should be judging a business against. So I wonder, and as for personal growth, again, I think it comes. So me personally, I get a lot more out personally to help others, but again, like, I don't want anybody to have to sacrifice their living standard, right, or their needs, right? I mean, everybody should be able to fulfill their needs, what they deserve, or what they need to have a good life. But everything above, I don't know. I think personal growth is also to give back, and I find that for businesses as well as for individuals. So I don't know.
What comes to my mind is this upward spiral that I see, this hero's journey. A human starts, becomes an entrepreneur, becomes wealthy, and then at a certain level, it's about realizing, hey, maybe it was not about just chasing the wealth and the money and the cars, but it was about becoming somebody that can give back to society and humanity, to become somebody that can elevate other humans. And that's why I'm super excited about also having you as a mentor involved in the Impact Accelerator, because I believe that there are so many people out there who want to give back, who want to serve, who want to inspire and empower the next generation. And my next question to you is, yeah, why did you join TSC Trust? Why did you decide to become part also as a mentor in the Impact Accelerator? Also, if not now, but in the next cohort, what excites you about, and what is your driver?
Well, a lot has to do with you as a person. So there's that. Actually, it's more Laura than you, but we
Whoa,
you know this. You know this that I
now I
prefer her
know.
over you, but you know this. So
Now I know.
you know this. I'm not very subtle about that. That I know. So she's amazing. So
Laura.
um so what was the question? Sorry, I got distracted. So, why I
Um,
joined? Why I joined? I think it's just I think trust is such a important part, right?
mhm,
In privately as well, but especially in business. Um, so that so I grew up with that mentality of or that that a handshake is still valued, right? So you give a handshake, and maybe that's a very German thing to do, but you give a handshake, and that there is no law that makes it binding. There is like you can turn around and do whatever you want, but in Germany, if you gave a handshake, then that's meant you are committed, and I think that has just something to do with trust, and therefore I feel like, yeah, building trust in a business, or building trust back into a business community is crucial, because I think there are a lot of charlatans. There are a lot of people who want to take advantage, and I think there are also a lot of people who just out for the profit and nothing else. And um, so there's nothing wrong with making profit. I mean, like, again, like, there's nothing wrong with making money and living a good life. So everybody should be able to do that. But it depends on how you do it. Like, if you have to do that by hurting others, I don't think it's
mhm,
okay. But
mhm,
so building trust especially you were in Davos, right? And
mhm,
you have the people from you have the top people from all over the world there.
mhm,
And then there was your setup. And I'm like, the name itself intrigued me. And then I went there and then I saw your program. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's needed.
mhm,
Um, especially in that crowd, to
mhm,
be able to trust again, because I don't
mhm.
think that many people do.
There's this beautiful saying that Mick Jagger never signed an agreement. He always was making just handshake. And that's such a beautiful thing.
Mm,
When a word of a man or a woman counts,
mm,
and when you can rely on.
mm,
It's something funny that I see just today. It was a project to be onboarded in the Impact Accelerator, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, let's please sign an NDA before we move forward." And I was like, cool, "Definitely, let's do." Super
mm,
happy to do so. But normally, I start my relationships with trust, right? So, yeah, but it's also something cultural. Now, one question that I would like to ask you, Christine Moore, is what can founders learn from your experience about uncertainty, and how can this be applied to business?
mm. So I lived in Pakistan for many years. My husband was Pakistani, right? So
Mhm,
in Pakistan, they live and breathe uncertainty, right? I mean, political, unstable. Although right now that's not even true, right? So this is like, funnily, at the moment, Pakistan is one of the most stable in the region, which is quite ironic. But so
interesting.
it is interesting. So, but what I mean is, like, so there's a crisis almost every day. You have So when I moved there from Germany, where everything works, right? So even though Germans complain about their trains, but they're actually on time, they work. The buses work, the roads are clean. The health system works. So and then I can come down to Pakistan. There's load shedding. Sometimes we didn't have 18 hours of electricity.
Wow.
There's a crisis every day. Monsoon hits, and then people die because they just drown in the street.
Wow.
And there's so much chaos. So you live with
Mm,
uncertainty on a daily basis. So
mm,
you basically get these, like, I don't know what you have this tunnel vision all of a
mm,
sudden, because and you become very fluid in your decisions, because
mm,
your way of um, evaluating a crisis or risk is very different.
mm,
Like in Germany, you would never really think about, like, electricity is a given, right? Like,
mm,
would you put that in your risk report that the electricity could go? Most probably not.
mm,
That is like in Pakistan, that's the first thing on the list: electricity, right? Will we have
mm,
electricity? Will we have enough electricity to even produce the product we want to produce, right?
mm,
So it's about um, perspective and your environment. So
mm.
uncertainty is really, look at Dubai now, look at America, right? I mean, Dubai used to be, like, for many years, everybody said, like, Dubai is one of the safest places
Yeah,
on the planet, right?
yeah,
Like, you could leave your handbag on the street and nobody would pick it up.
yeah,
And now there are missiles flying over them every
yeah,
day, right?
yeah.
They are, like, literally on the tip, like, you can't get much closer than
Mm,
them
mm,
to the Strait of Hormuz, right? So
mm,
things change. So would they
mm,
have put an Iran-US war into their risk profile? No, most probably not. But
mm,
it's your environment, so you have to know your environment, but you also have to become fluid, and you have
mm,
to become a little bit less rigid, I would say.
mm, mm.
Less
What comes
German.
to
My husband used to say, "Don't be so German." So I think I had to also learn to let
mm,
go of my own upbringing in
mm,
everything, that expectation that
mm.
everything works. And I think for the majority of the people on this planet,
Yeah,
things don't.
yeah. Yeah, two things that come to my mind. I mean, on one side, spending the last 3 months in Thailand and realizing, oh my God, we can live without shoes. We don't need the luxury and the standard in Switzerland. Life can be so simple, but so beautiful and fulfilled. And then you come back to Switzerland and you realize, wow, we live in one of the most secured, innovative, richest countries in the world. But it feels like a golden cage where people are functioning and working and sacrificing so much time for the
Mm,
standard of living that we are living. So I would always prefer freedom over luxury or possessions. And the realization is,
mm,
what do we really need to be happy? What does a human really need? We need food, water, shelter, electricity, and community. And we have created such a complicated life where we have possessions and we work for stuff to impress people that we don't really like. And so it's interesting. After 3 months, for me, it's like a reality shock being back in Switzerland. It's and secondly, what comes to
Well,
my mind
yeah,
is,
for that, I
yeah,
would come back to the enough line, right? So it's also the Maslow hierarchy, pyramid of hierarchy of,
Maslow.
yes,
Maslow.
Maslow's pyramid of, never mind. Anyway, so where you, if you your basic needs and whatever. But I always say, like, you have
Mm,
that enough line, and you have to define that
yes.
for you and your family. What is enough? And then, that has to be enough.
I
Like for
believe,
example, the sheer so Elon Musk he's going to be, like, within the next few years, he's going to be the first trillionaire, right? Not even billionaire, he's going to be the first trillionaire.
yeah.
So what is he going to do with all that money? That like he can like it's not physically possible to spend all that money.
Mhm,
Yet for him, his only goal is to be called a trillionaire.
mhm.
So where is his enough?
Yeah,
I don't
Christine,
think that he has one.
Christine, I believe that greed and ego and power is one of the biggest evil in the world. I believe that certain people never have enough, and that's a sad point because Steve Jobs said, "What does it serve me to be the richest man in the graveyard? We come naked and we go naked, and all we can do is to take care that we touch as many hearts as possible in this lifetime and inspire and uplevel and elevate and create memories that stay after we transitioned, not begun when we transitioned." And yeah,
But we have to be very careful also. I mean, that whole living cheap, living simple and whatever. That's a very very privileged point of view. Like
100%
you have to be able to afford such a
to think
standard,
like this.
right?
Yes,
So because like it's very easy for me to say I have a house, I have a car,
yes,
I live in a lovely neighborhood
yes,
with very little crime. I have a dog, I have nature around me, but I'm also like within 20 minutes I'm in central London. So it's like it's very easy for me to say, right? But again, it comes down to what is enough for you.
100%.
And there is no evil in wanting to live a good life.
No.
Like I, I could change my car into a very small car. I could
Mhm,
move into a flat,
mhm.
and minimize everything. But there's no harm in living a good life,
Definitely.
but you can still use your extra to do a lot of good. I think
100%.
it's a very, very delicate balance,
Mm,
because I don't want to evilize or like you know
mm.
money. I don't want to do that
No,
because
money
money
is
is
not the evil. Money is not evil. It's
yes.
the love of money that is evil.
I have seen a lot of people who are very obsessed with money. But if you
Mhm,
dig deeper, why are they obsessed? There's a lot of trauma and a lot of hurt.
mhm, mm.
A lot of hurt.
Yeah, so true. I mean, we are talking from a super privileged position. There are so many people out there who are still no food on the table, no shelter, no salary, and yeah, we are beyond blessed. We are amongst 0.1% of humanity. And so I believe because we are so blessed and privileged, it is our task to enable and support the others who were not so fortunate to be one of these humans who be grown up in Germany or Switzerland. And yeah. Okay, one more questions. One more question. If you could go back, Christine, and give your 25-year-old Christine version an advice for life, what would it be?
Do it exactly the way I did.
Thank you so much. Christine, that felt like a normal chat that we had on
Well,
WhatsApp.
that's usually with you.
Just today, we opened up for a broader audience. Um, I'm deeply grateful for your braveness. Wow, for transforming darkness into light, for, yeah, sharing your truth and your story. And I'm grateful to call you a friend. I'm grateful to call you a business partner where we're going to move a lot together because I know it was not just random that our ways crossed. And I wish you all the best with the book launch
Thank
and
you.
also with the center that you're building in London. What
Wait,
is a
wait,
way?
wait, wait, wait. Like,
Yes,
like a, like a good, like a look, like there we go.
yes, super cool. What is a way how people can interact with you? Is there still a chance to come to the book reading in London?
No, you can come for the walk. We're doing a charity walk on the 11th of May, on that Monday, the eve before the book launch, and yeah, to raise money for the healing center
Amazing.
on the
Guys,
11th of May. We meet at 6:30. We
yeah,
meet at St. Paul's Cathedral. Then we will walk towards the Tower Bridge, over the Tower Bridge, and then back all the way to Big Ben.
nice. And where can people get the book?
And Amazon and Waterstones everywhere. Yes.
Nice.
Mm.
I will.
There is
I
even
want.
an audio. There is even an audio book, so which I read myself. So you can.
Nice. I
It's
want
all.
one with a beautiful signature and a heart from you, if this is possible.
Well, you have to come to London.
Mm.
We have to
Yeah,
do a. We have to do a House of Trust event in London. You know, it's
definitely. That's
yes,
something
it's
we
well
will discuss.
overdue. It's well overdue, Mr. Kanala.
Yes. Now, 11th, 12th, 13th of July, House of Trust Portugal is set, but maybe before or after. So let's figure it out. Hey, Christine, on point, 1 hour. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your truth and your story. Thank you for your being. Thank you for spreading light. And I'm excited about the journey ahead.
Me too.
That was it. House of Trust live stream episode 4 already. Wow. And next week, we see you again at 7 p.m. CET. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.